Hello and welcome to Future Fit Leadership. I'm your host, Sadna Smiles, and welcome to our Spotlight series where I speak with bold, curious, and forward-thinking leaders about the world of leadership we're stepping into. These conversations are here to challenge, inspire, and remind you that the future of leadership is being shaped right now by leaders like you. Because let's be honest, we are the generation of leaders writing the new rules. Please enjoy my conversations in this Spotlight series. Joining us today is Lucinda Hartley. She is an urban futurist and technology entrepreneur, working with business leaders and organisations thrive in the future of work and living. Lucinda, welcome to Future Fit Leadership Spotlight. How are you today?
Hi, Sadana. Really good to see you again.
I'm looking forward to asking you key questions for this season. So let's get straight into it. If you had to describe a future fit leader in just 3 words, and we're looking for the kind of leader that we'll need most in the years ahead, what would those words be and why?
Yeah, 3 words is always really difficult, particularly when there's so much change around right now. But the 3 that I would say is curious, because I think being committed to continuous learning right now is more important than ever. I think being flexible, not only in where and how we work, but in our mindsets and how we think, because there's so many different influences around us, and authentic. I think in a world where it's increasingly enabled by technology, showing up as our whole selves and bringing our imperfect humanness into the way we lead is so important.
I love those answers, and I particularly like curiosity because I think we're kind of mapping out what leadership looks like for the future right now. We're kind of doing and learning, aren't we? We need to be curious. Otherwise, we will kind of still want to go back to the old way of leading and doing.
Yeah.
What's the one shift coming in the next few years that you think most leaders are underestimating or just not prepared for?
Yeah, I think it has to be speed. And I think of that in the sense that these are the slowest times that we're ever going to live in. And, if I look at some of the research from Singularity University and others, they're predicting that we're going to face 20,000 years of technology change in just the next 100 years. And even if you just think about it now, if you're trying to keep on top of AI, like literally by the time you've tooled up in one platform, there's like 5 new directions to look at. And, if we compare even something like Facebook, which took 5 years to reach 100 million users, OpenAI did that in just 2 months. And we're seeing that get faster and faster and faster. And as leaders, what that really means is that we actually haven't got time to pause and tool up and learn the whole new thing, because by the time we've done that, there'll be 5 more things, 10 more things. And so when we think about preparing for speed, I think as leaders, it's really about having the right mindset rather than trying to develop all of the skills to operate at lightning fast.
And with that, speed means we kind of got to let go of perfection a little bit too,
Yeah,
don't we? Because that will hinder us otherwise in that journey of speed.
absolutely.
What do you wish more leaders were paying closer attention to?
I would like to see leaders paying more attention to some of the emerging future trends rather than trying to lock down into how we've done things before. I think what I see is quite a disappointing trend in recent years is mandatory return to office, for example. I think the pandemic surfaced a whole lot of ideas around flexible and remote work, many of them very imperfect. But rather than trying to evolve a new model that's better, it's trying to lock down to what we did before. But in fact, that doesn't suit new generations. It doesn't suit the way that we're using and applying technology to our work, and it's unlikely to be future fit in that way. And so I think really reimagining work in that way is something that we really need to be paying attention.
What are the possibilities or shifts you see in the future of leadership or work that really excites you, and why does it excite you?
I'm excited that we're seeing a lot more potential for individualization or personalization in the way that we lead or approach even what we define work to be. And by that, I mean, if you think about, we really needed to subscribe to a certain set of leadership models that suited a certain type of work. If you're a consultant, these are your leadership models. If you're in tech, these are your leadership models. There's all great lessons to be learned from that. But now that we're moving at speed and we've got so many tools available, uh, we're able to personalize and customize things that you weren't able to do before. Even thinking about software's really been a one size fits most. And now with AI, you can actually completely personalize your software in a way that's affordable and available that you would never have been able to do beforehand. And I think if we translate that to a leadership approach, it means that we can actually bring more of our authenticity. We can bring more of the way that we would naturally approach problem solving and leadership into that, because we can actually personalize the communication and the tools and the way that we work.
It's so true. When you were talking to me, I just had a thought that, there are so many leadership books written at pre-pandemic where, we would go and buy it to see how the founder of Apple ran the business. But today, with speed and how quickly things are changing, writing a leadership book is just, well, by the time it's printed, it's out of date.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many lessons to be learned, right? Like I don't, in that mindset of curiosity, I think there's many things that we can look at other models and what they've learned. But I think with some flexibility that it's not the kind of the gold standard that it used to be. It might be not fit for purpose in just 6 months' time.
My last question to you is, if you could embed one leadership quality into every current or future CEO, something that you believe will be essential for the next decade, what would it be and why?
I was going to say curiosity, but I've mentioned that word already quite a few times in the last 10 minutes. So if I was to expand on that, I think it's momentum. I think our biggest risk right now is doing nothing. We actually can't afford to stand still. So keeping, I guess some curiosity in that, but moving forward, even if we don't have all the answers, even if it feels scary, even if it's overwhelming, even if things are changing fast. As humans, when we feel overwhelmed by complexity, our human nature is to buckle down and stop and make sense of it before we move forward. Understandable, we've been evolved to do that. But when things are moving quickly around us, actually keeping forward is how we're going to learn and stay curious. And so I would like to see a mindset of momentum and moving forward and being prepared to take risks more in our leadership qualities.
Lucinda, thank you for joining us on Future Fit Leadership Spotlight and for sharing your insights and what you see as the future of leadership.
Yeah, my pleasure.
I hope you're enjoying our conversation. A quick word from our sponsor. Have you ever wondered how to attract, develop, and augment diverse leadership capability in your organisation? Well, Future Leadership has a range of leadership solutions, including executive search, interim executives, leadership development programs, coaching, and workforce transformation specialists. They are an Australian-owned B Corp and one of very few globally accredited and connected talent solution firms. They are very proud of their 22-year history, bringing more diverse leadership to Australian decision-making tables. See the link in our show notes to get in touch with them. If you like what you've heard, please share, rate and review this podcast, and don't forget to share it with anyone who might benefit from hearing it. The producer of Future Fit Leadership is Maritza Barone from Guide Your Light Network. If you would like to reach out to me, please DM me on any of my social media platforms. I'm available for speaking at conferences or consulting to your business. Future Fit is created in partnership with Future Leadership, a capability ecosystem for boards and executives. If you'd like to join the community and receive a free takeaway each week, sign up to the Future Exchange app in my show notes. Thank you for having me in your space.